Okay, got it. All right, guys. So good to see you. Welcome. These are the pages for our lesson today. Okay. We are going to do today on May 24th, Unit 7.3, pages 82 and 83. Kawane, to see the pages from the previous class, you just have to go to your page here on Google Classroom and see the pages, okay? I posted there for you. Let me show you here, just a second. Look, okay, here we have the pages from last week, all right? So May 19th, it was page 81 only. Okay, Kawane? All right,
Okay.
good. Perfect. So here, this is our lesson for today. Okay, so if you have your books, open your books to page 82. Okay, let's see that. All right, guys, can you see the book? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So according to our page here on Google Classroom, we're doing pages 82 and 83 from our book. So that's unit 7.3. Okay. So the first question that comes here, the first question that comes up is think of a few amazing people, famous people, or people you know. So can you give me some examples of amazing people that you know, famous or not famous? Oh yes, the BBB people, yeah. The reality show people, they are super famous. That's true. Now they are, yes. Okay. Any other person that you remember? No? Okay. I have an example here of a person that, okay, she is famous, and but I also think she's really amazing. So I will share with you this video about her, and she has great piece of advice to give us. Actually, she has some advice to give us, right? She's a great woman, very intelligent, and she's super famous, of course, and she's successful as well. She's very successful, but she has been through some hardships, okay? So let's see what she has to say. Let me try to toggle full screen. Okay, let me share the audio with you.
Is that I can be a source of some inspiration. I'm going to address my remarks to anybody who's ever felt inferior or felt disadvantaged, felt screwed by life. This is a speech for the quad. Well, I was on television by the time I was 19 years old. And in 1986, I launched my own television show with a relentless determination to succeed. At first, I was nervous about the competition, and then I became my own competition, raising the bar every year, pushing myself as hard as I knew. Sound familiar to anybody here? Eventually, we did make it to the top, and we stayed there for 25 years. The Oprah Winfrey Show was #1 in our time slot for 21 years. And I have to tell you, I became pretty comfortable with that level of success. But a few years ago, I decided, as you will at some point, that it was time to recalculate, find new territory, break new ground. So I ended the show and launched OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. 1 year later, after launching OWN, nearly every media outlet had proclaimed that my new venture was a flop. Not just a flop, but a big, bold flop, they call it. I can still remember the day I opened up USA Today and read the headline, "Oprah not quite standing on her own." It really was, this time last year, the worst period in my professional life. I was stressed and I was frustrated, and quite frankly, I was embarrassed. It doesn't matter how far you might rise. At some point, you are bound to stumble, because if you're constantly doing what we do, raising the bar, if you are constantly pushing yourself higher, higher, the law of averages, not to mention the myth of Icarus, predicts that you will at some point fall. And when you do, I want you to know this, remember this: there is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Now, when you're down there in the hole, it looks like failure. So this past year, I had to spoon feed those words to myself. And when you're down in the hole, when that moment comes, it's really okay to feel bad for a little while. Give yourself time to mourn what you think you may have lost. But then, here's the key: learn from every mistake, because every experience, encounter, and particularly your mistakes, are there to teach you and force you into being more of who you are. And then figure out what is the next right move. And the key to life is to develop an internal, moral, emotional GPS that can tell you which way to go. But the challenge of life, I have found, is to build a resume that doesn't simply tell a story about what you want to be, but it's a story about who you want to be. It's a resume that doesn't just tell a story about what you want to accomplish, but why. A story that's not just a collection of titles and positions, but a story that's really about your purpose. Because when you inevitably stumble and find yourself stuck in a hole, that is the story that will get you out. What is your true calling? What is your dharma? What is your purpose? For me, that discovery came in 1994 when I interviewed a little girl who had decided to collect pocket change in order to help other people in need. She raised $1,000 all by herself, and I thought, well, if that little 9-year-old girl with a bucket and a big heart could do that, I wonder what I could do. So I asked for our viewers to take up their own change collection, and in 1 month, just from pennies and nickels and dimes, we raised more than $3 million that we used to send one student from every state in the United States to college. And together we built 55 schools in 12 different countries and restored nearly 300 homes that were devastated by Hurricanes Rita and Katrina. So the Angel Network, I've been on the air for a long time, but it was the Angel Network that actually focused my internal GPS. It helped me to decide that I wasn't just gonna be on TV every day, but that the goal of my shows, my interviews, my business, my philanthropy, all of it, whatever ventures I might pursue, would be to make clear that what unites us is ultimately far more redeeming and compelling than anything that separates me. Because what had become clear to me, and I want you to know, it isn't always clear in the beginning, because as I said, I've been on television since I was 19 years old. But around 94, I got really clear. So don't expect the clarity to come all at once, to know your purpose right away. But what became clear to me was that I was here on earth to use television and not be used by it, to use television to illuminate the transcendent power of our better angels. So this Angel Network, it didn't just change the lives of those who were helped, but the lives of those who also did the helping. It reminded us that no matter who we are, or what we look like, or what we may believe, it is both possible and, more importantly, it becomes powerful to come together in common purpose and common effort. In our political system and in the media, we often see the reflection of a country that is polarized, that is paralyzed, and is self-interested. And yet, I know you know the truth. We all know that we are better than the cynicism and the pessimism that is regurgitated throughout Washington and the 24-hour cable news cycle. We understand that the vast majority of people in this country believe in stronger background checks because they realize that we can uphold the Second Amendment and also reduce the violence that is robbing us of our children. And we understand that most Americans believe in a clear path to citizenship for the 12 million undocumented immigrants who reside in this country, because it's possible to both enforce our laws and at the same time embrace the words on the Statue of Liberty that have welcomed generations of huddled masses to our shores. We can do both. The point is, your generation is charged with this task of breaking through what the body politic has thus far made impervious to change. Each of you has been blessed with this enormous opportunity of attending this prestigious school. You now have a chance to better your life, the lives of your neighbors, and also the life of our country. When you do that, let me tell you what I know for sure. That's when your story gets really good. Maya Angelou always says, when you learn, teach. When you get, give. That, my friends, is what gives your story purpose and meaning. So you all have the power in your own way to develop your own Angel Network. And in doing so, your class will be armed with more tools of influence and empowerment than any other generation in history. I did it in an analog world. I was blessed with a platform that at its height reached nearly 20 million viewers a day. Now here in a world of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr, you can reach billions in just seconds. I know you all understand better than most that real progress requires an authentic way of being, honesty, and above all, empathy. I have to say that the single most important lesson I learned in 25 years talking every single day to people was that there's a common denominator in our human experience. Most of us, I tell you, we don't want to be divided. What we want, the common denominator that I found in every single interview, is we want to be validated. We want to be understood. I've done over 35,000 interviews in my career. And as soon as that camera shuts off, everyone always turns to me and inevitably in their own way asks this question: was that okay? I heard it from President Bush. I heard it from President Obama. I've heard it from heroes and from housewives. I've heard it from victims and perpetrators of crimes. I even heard it from Beyonce and all of her Beyonce-ness. She finishes performing, hands me the microphone and says, was that okay? Friends and family, yours, enemies, strangers, in every argument, in every encounter, every exchange, I will tell you, they all want to know one thing: was that okay? Did you hear me? Do you see me? Did what I say mean anything to you? So whether you call it soul or spirit or higher self, intelligence, There is, I know this, there's a light inside each of you, all of us, that illuminates your very human beingness if you let it. No matter what challenges or setbacks or disappointments you may encounter along the way, you will find true success and happiness if you have only one goal. There really is only one, and that is this: to fulfill the highest, most truthful expression of yourself as a human being. You want to max out your humanity by using your energy to lift yourself up, your family, and the people around you. Theologian Howard Thurman said it best. He said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." From time to time, you may stumble, fall. You will for sure count on this. No doubt. You will have questions and you will have doubts about your path. But I know this: if you're willing to listen, to be guided by that still small voice that is the GPS within yourself, to find out what makes you come alive, you will be more than okay. You will be happy, you will be successful, and you will make a difference in the world.
Wow, that was amazing, wasn't it, guys? That was really amazing. Could you see the video? Was the video okay for you? Was the audio okay? Yes? Could you understand most of the things she said? Yes. That's why I really think that this woman is amazing for all the things she's been teaching everybody in the world, and also for using her influence to help other people and saying that we can do the same. All right, so that's really amazing. Okay, guys. All right. So here in the first part, we have a listening skill box saying understanding contrast linkers. Okay. Can you see that? Is the page visible for you? Yes. Good. So listen up. When you listen, notice the words but, however, and although. They show a contrast between two different ideas. Pay attention to the contrasting ideas before and after contrast words. Listen to the examples. So let me play that for you.
I wanted to be a writer, but I became a lawyer instead. I made a lot of money. However, I wasn't completely happy. Although I liked my job, I still always dreamed about writing.
Okay, let's listen one more time. Pay attention to the sentence stress and also intonation. Okay.
I wanted to be a writer, but I became a lawyer instead. I made a lot of money. However, I wasn't completely happy. Although I liked my job, I still always dreamed about writing.
Okay, good. Did you notice the sentence stress and also the intonation when she used these contrast linkers? Yes. So let's highlight the contrast linkers here. Okay. Let's highlight them here. We have but, however, and although. So they show contrast, okay, guys, between two different ideas. As you can see, We usually use but in the middle of two sentences, right? I wanted to be a writer. I became a lawyer instead. So I link those two sentences with the word but we use a comma before, okay? Another example, however. I usually use however after a period, okay? Here, look. And I link two sentences with however when I want to show a contrast as well. Example, I made a lot of money. I wasn't completely happy. So I can link those two ideas using however. Okay. And although, I usually use although at the beginning of a sentence, right? Although I liked my job, I still always dreamed about writing. Okay. So that's really nice. We usually put the although clause first. So this is another tip. When we are using although, the clause with this linker usually comes first. However and but can only appear in the second clause or sentence. All right, that's another tip. So I posted some ideas for you to understand better the uses of but, however, and although. So let's take a look there. It's right here. First, I posted a link for you by the dictionary Cambridge or Cambridge Dictionary, sorry. This link is really nice, but I want to show you the images, okay? When to use although, however, or but. So let's see here. The first one, if our connection helps. Yes, good. Can you all see that? So all of these words join clauses in sentences, but they are different parts of speech. This presentation explains the impact of the word choice on sentence pattern and punctuation. So this is for us to understand that they are similar in which they show contrast, but they are from different parts of speech. So let's take a look there. Here, look, the other file. Yes. So part of speech affects on a sentence, right? It really has a big effect on a sentence. Let's see here the first one. What is although in terms of parts of speech? Parts of speech, guys, is, for example, noun, adjective, verb, conjunction. Okay, these are parts of speech in English, okay? So here, for example, although is a subordinating conjunction, okay? It makes the clause dependent, all right? The word but is a coordinating conjunction, so it's a little different. It joins like things, two independent clauses, right? So whereas although connects two subordinating clauses, but just connects two coordinating clauses. All right, just for you to know, the sentences or the clauses are independent. However, is a conjunctive adverb. It modifies an independent clause, right? That's why however and but is usually used in the second clause, right? There is one first clause that introduces the idea. Okay. All right. Next one here, we have a review, okay, like a summary, okay? So parts of speech affect sentence patterns, of course, punctuation, everything. Although, but, and however are different parts of speech. So just repeating what we saw before. Although, subordinating conjunction, but, coordinating conjunction, and however, conjunctive adverb. Okay. All right, people. So let's go back to the book. Afterwards, if you have a chance, take a look at this link. Okay, I'm opening here. It gives us more details on using but, however, and although. Okay, look, here we have some examples. Let's try to make it a little bigger just for you to see. Yes, can you see that? So look, the meal was good, but I don't eat meat. So here we have two independent clauses. I can perfectly understand each one of them separately. Okay? The meal was good. I don't eat meat. Both sentences are clear. So if they show me, or if I want to show a contrast of ideas or contrasting ideas, I can connect them with the word but. Okay. Another example: Lara cooked roast beef for me, but let me see here. I don't eat meat. That's the best one here. So Lara cooked roast beef for me, but I don't eat meat. Two independent sentences. All right, guys. I want to lose weight, but I hate diets. Okay. Two independent sentences, but with contrasting ideas. Next one here, look, although or though. Okay. Grace is an excellent athlete, although she injured her leg recently. Here, the best thing to do when I use although is to start the sentence using the although clause. Example, although she injured her leg recently, Grace is an excellent athlete. Okay. Here we have some other, look, in the beginning, look, although the car was destroyed, no one was injured in the crash. Okay. Then we have more examples, and then we have other examples using but, even though, even if. Okay, guys. So you have everything you need there. It's interesting to take a look at this site. Okay. So let's go to our book page there. Let's do some exercises. The first one here. Listen to the sentences. Do you hear a linker? Which one? So you have to decide if you hear but, however, although, or no linker. All right, people. Okay, so let's do this one. Let me see if the audio is okay there. Yes, let's do it.
One, Andrea likes her job. However, she doesn't like the long hours. 2,
My uncle is interesting, but he sometimes talks too much.
3, Although the students studied a lot, they didn't do well on the test. 4,
I want to go on vacation, but I don't have enough money.
5, I'm really tired. I think I'll stay home tonight. 6,
Lydia wanted to live in Sydney. However, she couldn't find a job there.
Okay, guys, could you listen to that? Yeah. So I will play one more time and you take notes, okay? For each one of them, try to select which linker do you hear? If you hear a linker, if there is no linker, you just select the last one. Okay, so listen one more time.
1. Andrea likes her job. However, she doesn't like the long hours. 2.
My uncle is interesting, but he sometimes talks too much.
3. Although the students studied a lot, they didn't do well on the test. 4.
I want to go on vacation, but I don't have enough money.
5. I'm really tired. I think I'll stay home tonight. 6.
Lydia wanted to live in Sydney. However, she couldn't find a job there.
Okay, guys, let's check out the answers. What did you put for number 1? Welcome, Giovanni. Good to see you. Super welcome. Good afternoon. So we are doing activity number 2 on page 82. Okay? Good. All right. So let's check the answers. Okay. What did you do for number 1? Guys, what could you hear? Is there a linker in the first one? Yes?
Yes, however.
Sorry, the first one is?
However.
Okay, good. What about number 2?
But.
Great, awesome. Number 3?
Although.
Oh, very nice. Let's see the pronunciation. Although.
Although.
Although. Yes,
Although.
exactly. Good. Very nice. Although. Number 4.
But.
Uh-huh. Great. Very nice. Number 5.
No linker.
Uh-huh. Good. Excellent. Number 6.
However.
However. Okay. Let's check the answers. Okay. Yes, everything all right. Congratulations. Very nice, guys. So now listen to the podcast. Choose the correct answers. So look, here we have the following exercise. The podcast is about letter A, ordinary people who do amazing things, or B, amazing people who do ordinary things. So I will give you 30 seconds to read the other sentences before you listen, okay? Take a look at the sentences, see if you understand all the options, all right? Go.
Quatro e 15. 4h15.
Okay, guys, yes? Do you have any questions concerning vocabulary? No? Is everything okay? All right. So now let's listen and select A or B, okay? Let's go.
Welcome to Ordinary to Amazing, the podcast about ordinary people who do amazing things. Today we're talking to John Jackson. John, can you tell us your story?
Yes, sure. When I was young, I wanted to be a professional rock climber. But instead, I became an accountant.
Oh, really? Why did you become an accountant?
Well, because there weren't a lot of rock climbing jobs. Although I liked my job, I still always dreamed about rock climbing. I only climbed about once a year when I was on vacation, and sometimes I went to the rock gym.
I see.
Then, 3 years ago, I had an idea. I was at work, at my desk. I looked out the window, and I saw this guy outside looking back at me. He was a window washer.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't. The window was closed. But he gave me an idea. I thought, I live in a big city, so why don't I climb buildings?
Climb buildings? Wow.
But there was one problem. It was really expensive. So I had an idea.
Oh? What did you do?
I got sponsors. Companies pay me to climb up to their offices, and they put me in commercials.
Really? That's great. Did you leave your accounting job?
Yes, I did. I'm a full-time rock climber. I've climbed about 50 buildings all over the country.
That's an amazing story.
Okay, guys, was the audio all right? Yes, could you hear that? Okay, so I will play that one more time. So, and you try to check your answers to see if you got everything okay. All right. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So let's listen one more time.
Welcome to Ordinary to Amazing, the podcast about ordinary people who do amazing things. Today we're talking to John Jackson. John, can you tell us your story?
Yes, sure. When I was young, I wanted to be a professional rock climber. But instead, I became an accountant.
Oh, really? Why did you become an accountant?
Well, because there weren't a lot of rock climbing jobs. Although I liked my job, I still always dreamed about rock climbing. I only climbed about once a year when I was on vacation, and sometimes I went to the rock gym.
I see.
Then, 3 years ago, I had an idea. I was at work, at my desk. I looked out the window, and I saw this guy outside looking back at me. He was a window washer.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't. The window was closed. But he gave me an idea. I thought, I live in a big city, so why don't I climb buildings?
Climb buildings? Wow.
But there was one problem. It was really expensive. So I had an idea.
Oh? What did you do?
I got sponsors. Companies pay me to climb up to their offices, and they put me in commercials.
Really? That's great. Did you leave your accounting job?
Yes, I did. I'm a full-time rock climber. I've climbed about 50 buildings all over the country.
That's an amazing story.
Okay, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Wow. So, guys, what is the podcast about? Yes, ordinary people who do amazing things. Ordinary, guys, is the same as regular, okay? Common, regular people. All right, good. Number two, when he was young, John wanted to be an accountant or a professional rock climber. Yes, letter B. He's always wanted to become a professional rock climber. Yes, and what was John's idea? So first of all, he saw the guy who inspired him. So the guy was super inspiring. Okay, so look, number four. What was the problem with John's idea? When he had the idea of climbing buildings, what was the big problem? with that idea? Yes, that was really expensive, right? Just climbing buildings, that was an expensive sport. And now companies pay John to climb, okay, buildings. Very nice. So he fulfilled his dream, right? And that's very nice. He was really brave. That's not something easy to do, but I really admire him. So let's check out the answers, guys. Let's see there. Yay, everything right. Okay, everything correct. So look at him. Actually, we don't really know if it's him, but now people pay him to climb buildings, right? And how many buildings has he climbed so far? Do you remember? More than 50 around the country. Yes, that's good. So let's zoom out here. All right. That is a very dangerous job, really. Actually, um, the window washer was his big inspiration, right? The guy he saw from his office uh, really inspired him. And then after that, he decided to do uh, the same thing, but not as a window washer, but just as a building climber. All right, guys, so let's zoom in and take a look at the other aspect of this lesson. This lesson talks about people, as you've already noticed, and it's hard to talk about people and not mention the simple past because we all have achievements, we all have things that we did in the past and that brought us to what we are today. So that's why the grammar in context now is the simple past questions, right? So how do we do that? Let's see. We form the simple past yes no questions with the auxiliary verb did plus the subject plus infinitive without to. Okay? Example questions. Let me see here. Kawani, can you read the example, please? Yes. Let me see here. Rebecca, can you read the example, please?
Sorry, teacher, eu não percebi que o microfone estava no mudo.
Okay, no problem. That's all right. Can you read the examples, please? Here, the first and the second. All right, thank you.
Did you like your job? Yes, I did. Did you get a new job? No, I didn't.
Great. Thank you, Kawani. So, as you can see here, when we ask a yes no question, we should always start with the auxiliary verb present, past, future, always yes no questions. We start with the auxiliary. If it's the verb to be, of course, we start with the verb to be. Here, we are talking about the verb like in the past. It's a question. Did you like your job? Yes, I did. The same auxiliary that was used in the question is the one I will use in the answer. Okay? Did you get a new job? Negative. No, I didn't. Okay, so let's highlight those first two examples here. Okay, guys, let's see now how we form simple past questions with WH pronouns. So we form simple past WH questions with question word plus did plus subject, and then the infinitive without to. Examples. Let's see who can read the examples. Manu or Raiza, can you read the examples, please? See if your microphone is
Yes,
muted.
teacher.
Okay, go ahead, Manu.
Where did you where did you hmm? Where did you work? I work at a bank. Why did you leave your job? Because I didn't make and enjoy money
Enough.
enough money.
Yes, and
Because I didn't make enough money.
good. Thank you. Enough means sufficient. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Manu. So here we have examples of WH questions. So the first one here, the word where, pronoun where, and the second one, why. These are information questions. And when I have information questions in the past, I start the question with the question pronoun. After that, I use the auxiliary from the past, did, then the subject, and then the verb in the infinitive form. So both yes, no questions or information questions, I use the main verb in the infinitive form if it's a question in the past. Okay, guys. So let's take a look at some files I posted there for you on this topic. Okay, let's go back here. I have a kind of summary of questions in the simple past. So look, did short answers. Okay, let me highlight, let me zoom in. Yeah, I think you can see now, right? Okay, so here in the beginning, they show in the present. Do you like surprises? Yes, I do. In the past. Did you like my surprise? Yes, I did. Okay. So here we have some examples of questions in the past. And as you can see here, they start with the auxiliary verb. So they are yes or no questions. Okay. The answers are only yes or no. Okay. Let's see the first one. Did I pass the test? Yes, you did. Did I make a mistake? No, you didn't. Okay. Did you help? Sorry. Did you need help yesterday? Yes, I did. Did you sleep well last night? No, I didn't. Or the other way around, right? It doesn't really matter. And then here we have some other examples for you to check out, okay? So make sure you check it out so you can see more examples of questions in the simple past using the auxiliary did, okay? In other words, yes, no questions, all right? Good. Let's go back to our book here. Can you see exercise number 4? Yes? Okay, so let's see there. Complete the questions and answers in the simple past. So here in parentheses, we have the pronoun, the subject, and we have the main verb. Let's ask the questions. Let's see here. The first one, what do you think? English when you were a child. So it's a question about the past. How can I ask that if my answer is yes? Okay, we start with did. Perfect. And then what comes next? The
You
subject. Uh-huh. And then what comes next?
Just study.
Good. In the infinitive form, not in the past form, okay? Because it's a question, okay? So, did you study English when you were a child? It's very easy to ask questions in the past, isn't it? All you have to use is the auxiliary verb. The verb never changes. Now answer. Yes. Okay. Yes, I did. If my question starts with did, I should answer with did. So, did you study English when you were a child? Yes, I did. Question number two. Now it's easy, right? Okay.
did they go?
Very good. Excellent. Did they go to the movies last night? All right. Answer.
They
No.
No,
don't.
they didn't.
Okay. I have to use the auxiliary verb used in the question. So I used did. All right. I'm talking about the past. So here in the answer, I have to use did. If it's affirmative, I'm going to use did. If it's negative, I'm going to use didn't. Okay? So, no, they didn't. Now, guys, I will give you, let me see, 2 minutes to do the other exercises. Sorry, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we correct. Okay, now it's 4:33, so until 4:35. Okay, guys, did you finish?
Yes.
Good. So let's see the third one actually. What's the question here?
Did he
Did he
call?
call?
Mm, beautiful. Did he call you this morning? Pronunciation, call. call, right? Did he call you this morning? Okay. Answer, no.
No, he
He
didn't.
didn't.
Mhm. Perfect. Very good. Number four, question.
Did we have?
Mhm. Beautiful. Did we have homework last night?
Yes, we did.
Mhm. Great. Perfect. Number five.
Did your
Did
parents?
your parents visit?
Mhm. Excellent. Okay, answer.
Yes, they did.
Mhm. Perfect. Very good. Let's check the answers. Yes, congratulations. So you see, it's very easy to ask questions using the simple past or to talk about the past in general, right? You just have to use the auxiliary verb, okay? Now let's see some other examples. Yes, no questions or WH questions with the simple past form. So let's try to do the first one together. Here we have the prompts, right? Let's put this question together, okay? So we have a WH pronoun here. So that one comes first. So, and now what comes next? It's a question, isn't it? So if it's a question and it's in the past, let me highlight this information here. Oh, I'm not checking the answers now. Okay, so I was going to click here just to highlight. So look, we should use the simple past form in all the questions. So if we are using the simple past, what do I need to put here after why? Look there. Look. Question word, did, the subject, and then the verb in the infinitive form without to. Where did you work? Why did you leave your job? Okay, so let's go down there and say here, what do I need to put here?
Did
Okay. Mm-hmm. Excellent, Manu.
you?
Okay. And then,
Because
yes,
um,
become. No changes. Remember, for questions in the simple past, the verb never changes. It's always in the infinitive form. Okay? So, why did you become? And now the complement, an accountant. Why? Why did you become an accountant? Why did you go there? Why did you apply for this job? Why did you decide to be a rock climber? Okay. Now I'll give you 2 minutes to do exercises 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then we correct. Okay, thumbs up. Did you finish? Yes. So let's see. Number two. How can we ask this question?
Uh, did you talk to him?
Perfect. Excellent. Mhm. There you go. Good job. Congratulations. Number three. What do you have?
What did you do?
Mm, great. Sorry. Oops. It's a little dark here. Okay. And then the last one.
Did you leave your account job?
Good. Very good. Excellent. So let's check the answers. Yay. Very good. We got everything right. So let's zoom out and see what we learned today. What did we learn today? So here on the previous page, what did we talk about? Today, we talked about the contrast linkers, but, however, and although. We saw that they mean um, contrasting or opposition, and we use them in different positions in a sentence, right? I use but usually in the middle of a sentence after a comma. However, I usually use in the middle after a period and then before a comma. And although I usually use in the beginning of a sentence um, to give more emphasis to what I want to say, I can use the clause with although as the first clause. And then next, after the comma, I use the second clause. Okay? That's a matter of emphasizing the idea of contrast. Okay? After that, we talked about questions in the simple past. So we learned how to make questions in the past using the auxiliary did in yes no questions and also using the auxiliary did in WH questions. Okay. And then we saw that it's very easy to ask about the past, to talk about the past with someone. That's really simple. Okay, guys, let's take a look at our page
Teacher,
here.
você pode botar ali no 5 rapidinho quando eu copiei aqui da 4?
Yes, of course. Sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right, can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So look at the page we posted here, the content we posted on our page on Google Classroom. Here's what we did today. Look, we talked about ordinary to amazing, ordinary people who did amazing things, right? We saw a video by Oprah Winfrey, how she became this amazing person that she is today. We saw contrast linkers and simple past questions. And to finish, I would like you to do for homework, Unit 7.3, and the extra exercises we posted here for you to take a look. Just remember that all the homework posted here is for May 31st, okay, for Monday, not for Wednesday, okay? So you can do your homework um, on the weekend, for example. All right, guys, okay? So thank you very much for coming. Let me see if I saved the picture here. I don't think I did. Let me try to save the picture I took with your names. Let me check it out here just a second. Yes, yes, everything is okay. All right, guys. Thank you for today. Thank you, Giovanni, Kawani, Rebecca. Thank you, Manu, and thank you, Raiza. Don't forget, guys, if you don't have all your grades, please talk to me. Send me a message, and we can schedule a day for you to do your tests. Okay? All right, Raiza. I'll meet you on Friday. Okay? Good.
Okay.
So thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, teacher. Bye bye.
Bye bye.